Hi, my name is Corey Minter, and I am the president of Trinity Employment Specialists, and we are a staffing organization located here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We staff all over the nation with travel nurses and just in the medical world, business and industrial companies all over this region. And today, I want to talk real quickly about something that is hitting every company right now when it comes to trying to find the right staff for their business. It's really an interesting thing that's happening. So that these are the top 5 staffing trends and challenges of 2020. And I've got some notes here that I'm going to take a look at, especially for statistics. But the American economy really did a huge surge in the beginning of January and then took a big dip in April. And ever since April, we have been in this craziness of an every 2-week assault of the media getting the economy to try to shut down. And who knows what to believe? I don't want to be political about this. We've got all sorts of information coming at us. And you can tell that there's an agenda with all of these things. So most Americans, listen, you're not alone. I'm not wrong and crazy. You're not wrong and crazy. We're all trying to figure out the best way to navigate this thing. But the number one thing that companies are going to deal with, and they are dealing with this right now, are talent shortages. And it doesn't make sense. It sure didn't make sense that we would be having a talent shortage once the economy opened back up, because we had a record number of people who were unemployed. And so for surely we would have some really great talent out there. But no, that isn't the case. And I think I have a really interesting story on why that's not the case, and then we'll hit the other 4 things. When this whole thing happened, there was a big surge in unemployment fraud. And I was hit with unemployment fraud. Someone filed for unemployment in my name. The only weird thing is I own my own company and I'm still working. So obviously this was a fraud thing. So I was calling the unemployment office to notify them somebody's filed for unemployment in my name. I didn't want somebody actually stealing money from the government and then they think that it was me. So I was doing everything that I could to get on the phone with the unemployment office and notify them someone has filed for unemployment in my name. Well, apparently this happened to a ton of people. But this was what was interesting. When I was on the phone waiting to speak with someone, which generally took somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 30 minutes each time I was on the phone with them. Well, they had an answering machine. You know how they have people talking in the background, and they notified me every 1 to 2 minutes that if you're applying for unemployment, you do not have to do a job search, because now this unemployment, we don't require you to do a job search. So you can stay on unemployment. And once you get to that question where I asked, have you done the proper number of job searches? Since the number is 0, you don't have to do any job searches. You need to put yes every single time, whether you've done any job searches or not. Now, they said this every 1 to 2 minutes. And if you're an employer, you would begin to ask yourself, that doesn't help us in recruiting. Well, this is a nationwide thing, so if you want to understand why such a shortage, especially in the state of Oklahoma, it's because this unemployment package was unprecedented. People normally making $30,000 a year are now making the monthly equivalent of $50,000 a year. And now this has dropped. We have a small window of recruiters. I've talked to many companies about this. We have a small window where we can begin recruiting, because now the people collecting unemployment, they stopped getting $600 a week extra. And now we have a window where we can begin recruiting, where employees actually have an incentive to getting employment again, but they're getting ready to start another added bonus for unemployed people to keep them on unemployment. This doesn't make sense economically, but it's what's happening. And so this is a big reason for the talent shortage. The number two thing is you've got high competition. For the specialized jobs, there is a lot of competition those people who are trying to get a job and not stay on unemployment, they're generally going to be specialized jobs. And so there is a high competition on the employee side. And then also employers are trying to get specialized talent like crazy. So if you find someone that you really like that has the skill set, you might want to act quickly rather than kicking the can down the road, because you likely have your competitor trying to get at that same employee. Number three, the slow hiring process is a big problem. One, employees are gaining just an intolerance for things taking a long time. And, Ritz-Carlton did a study not long ago where they studied someone in the 80s on how long they could stand in line and be comfortable until somebody needed to bring them a drink. And that time period was about 8 or 9 minutes. And then they did that same study in 2007 or 8, and that time had moved down to about 45 seconds. And so our culture has changed quite a bit on what we will tolerate for speed. And this is definitely the case in hiring. You'll miss someone if you have a slow to hire. So if you have any bottlenecks, you need to stop those bottlenecks during the hiring process. Number four, increased transparency really helps employees to trust your company. And right now, the transparency that you can give on social media, in just your job ad, you can talk about some of the things about your company, some of the good things about the job, and list some of the things that people need to watch out for. Some of that transparency actually helps people to trust you. We have been sold to so much in this country that our awareness of people lying to us is really, really high. And so you have to address this. Number five, unrealistic employer expectations. You've got to make sure as an employer to give realistic expectations, be honest and truthful in your job ad, and make sure that it's transparent, like we said earlier. These are some new things that are happening. Our culture is shifting so much so right now, and we've got to address this new generation and what it is that they need and want. Even on your website, being transparent with what it is that you do, making your job application process really simple and quick will help you a ton. If Trinity can help you in any way with your hiring, we would love to be a resource for you. We are one of the top staffing organizations in this region. Go check us out on Google and our Google reviews. I think that we have some of the highest ranked Google reviews, and we probably have more than anyone else in the staffing region. Please go check us out, trinityemployment.com, or you can give us a call at 918-622-2588.